everyone. Welcome again to Elevating Your Life. We are just going to rise high today. I have with us today Sue Elliott. She used to be a pretty normal person. She was a successful magazine editor and writer for over 30 years. She specialized in creating brand new automotive, enthusiastic, and chef recipe food magazines. Then she launched her baby, a personal transformation magazine called Law of Attraction that was sold on newsstands nationwide. In the midst of all that, about 20 years ago, Sue began hearing messages from the angels. Not long after that, she started coaching others. For the last 2 decades, she served as a successful and beloved angel coach. But recently, the angels guided her to stop doing private coaching. Instead, they told her to make their most potent messages accessible to far more people through a book called My Angel Coach. And she, in her book, it contains 63 messages to support and uplift people. Each chapter starts with a colorful angel attunement that effortlessly dissolves subconscious programming, limiting beliefs, and more. So she is here today to share her wisdom, knowledge, intuition, and much more with that with us. Sue, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you, Paula. It's great to be with the happy lady.
Oh, thank you. Happy day. For all of us. To start with, do you want to share a little more of your background, all those years working on magazines, or tell us a bit about that and how then you revolved into what you're doing today?
Sure, it was all part of a divinely guided journey. So the angels tell me that we are all on a divinely guided journey. And even if it looks like we're doing something that's, not on the path, they want to add it's all path. So my journey, I can draw a straight line. I can make my journey sound very linear, but it didn't always feel linear while it was happening. I did spend most of my career creating magazines. My specialty was creating new magazines to sell on the newsstand, which was really fun. It's a passion industry, and I followed what lit me up. So I was learning how to follow the energy from a very young age, which is one of the things that the angels love to guide people. It's how they call us forward, right? What we're interested in and what we're excited about, what we feel curious and engaged with. So for me, that was cars for a long time, customized cars, muscle cars, restored and performance vehicles. And then I moved up to the Napa Valley because I loved food and wine. I still love food and wine. And I started writing about that. And then I started creating magazines with chefs' recipes. And in the middle of doing the food magazines, the head of business development for the newsstand at a company whose nickname was Source. I just love that Source published my magazines. How awesome is that? So the head of business development said, "What's that crazy thing you want to do?" And I said, "Oh, a magazine about personal transformation." And we ended up calling it Law of Attraction magazine, even though it was much broader than just Law of Attraction teachings. It was more about joyful living. It was how to let go of worry and anxiety and experience more calm and more joy and more connection, which is really what the book is about too, really. The messages have evolved over the years, but I stopped doing the magazine stuff in early 2014 when the publishing company went through a bunch of reorganizations and they got rid of more than half their magazines. And so I kind of went into this dark night of the soul, right? If I'm not a magazine editor and I'm not a writer, who am I? What am I? And fortunately, I'd been doing coaching by then. So after some meandering through technology companies and a company that got consumer products into the major retailers, I was once again back to focusing full time on coaching. And that's where my heart is, to make a difference in people's lives.
Oh, so what was it that triggered you to put all this amazing information in your book? What triggered that to say, I'm going to author a book?
Well, as I had been doing the coaching for about 20 years. So I had gathered a lot of experience, a lot of different kinds of problems people had, a lot of different kinds of angel guidance that came through me. And it became clear that the world was more and more ready for this. So when I first started doing this, I didn't even necessarily tell people I talked to angels. We just talked about, transformational coaching that would help you feel better. And now more and more people are having spontaneous awakenings. And the working one-on-one with a coach is wonderful. I'm a huge fan of it, but it's also not inexpensive. It costs a fair amount. I did work on a sliding scale, but the regular price was $375 an hour, and there were only so many people I had the bandwidth to see in a day. So now we've made this so much more accessible. You can have access to the book and the angels 24/7. You always have access to the angels, but you can have the angels' guidance in your hands, a physical example of what they want to share with you in the moment. And you actually can use the book as a sort of angel card reading. You can ask a question and let it open to a random page, and the angels, and I promise you, you will get the answer to your question on that page.
I love it. I love it. And isn't it amazing how we receive so many messages from the angels and may not even be aware of it, if we're not kind of watching for it?
Right. It's coming in no matter what you're feeling. The angels want to really jump up and down and say, you don't have to be in a particular energy state. You don't have to be meditating. You don't have to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, and no matter how you're feeling, the angels are bringing you guidance all the time. And it feels different when you're stressed out than it does when you're meditating or calm. But it's always there. And sometimes it's just a gentle reminder, right? When you look at the clock and it's 2:22 or 11:11, it's a
Yeah.
nudge from the angels. We're with you. Here we are. Or a feather. I know a lot of people who've been finding white feathers in very unlikely places.
Yes.
And and sometimes it's more of a direct sign, like the first song that comes on the radio might actually have in the lyrics the answer to the question you were just wondering about.
How
Or put in
fun.
line so the people behind you are talking about something that's the answer to what you were wondering about, or a great tip on a company that's hiring that would love somebody just like you. So
Mhm.
they're always bringing it through other people, through animals, butterflies, numbers, the shapes of clouds. They can use
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. I mean, there are so many things, Sue. I have several times out walking, I'm always looking at clouds. I have seen clouds that it's an angel. What a message.
Yes, I see angel clouds all the time. And now you guys are going to be looking up at the sky looking for angels, and they will show themselves to you, I promise.
Yeah. And isn't that just a wonderful way to start the day? Okay, what am I going to receive today? What signs
Yes,
are out there for me?
that is a great question. What am I going to receive today? What signs are out there for me? Angels surprise and delight me. They love to do that. So they love to bring us unfoldings that are so much better than anything we could have asked for. So the more you can give them freedom to surprise and delight you, the more fun they can have
Oh,
and you can have.
Sue, I love that. Angels, surprise and delight me. I'm going to start saying that. Oh my gosh. So, for someone who's listening, it's like, well, I've never really thought about messages in this. I'm just so focused on getting through my day and doing. What would be the first thing you would say to them to start to open that window?
Oh, so the angels want to start here. Delegate your worries and cares to them. So, one of the most powerful practices in the book is thank you, angels, for taking care of you fill in the blank. We call it the angel delegation statement. So, start to hand things over. And one of my friends here in town got the book and she started doing that right away. Thank you, angels, for taking care of. And she was working with a nonprofit that had a donor lined up for a particular project they were doing. And all of a sudden, the donor couldn't be reached by phone, by email. They were kind of freaking out that they weren't getting the money. And so she just said, thank you, angels, for taking care of the money for this project. And literally within hours, somebody called a different organization that coordinates nonprofits in this area and said, we're looking for a good cause that we can donate to. And they were directed to this organization, and the money showed up like that.
Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? Yes. I've had a few experiences in my life that I absolutely knew the angels were part of it. The angels actually had saved my life. You know,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Uh, One was when my kids were young. I worked long hours running the restaurant, and we had an awesome, beautiful little exchange student, and her and my daughter, we were coming home from the restaurant one day for popping in, and we lived on a dead end street, and at the end was a house. We're coming down the hill, my brakes went out. It was dark, and it was like, I can't just crash into the house. I have to just drive into the forest. Angels, please help me. And I literally had to just figure out where I was going to turn off the road, drive in the forest. And we just went right between two huge trees and slowed down and stopped. We were just fine, no injuries. I knew the angels were with
I'm
us
getting
that
wave after wave of goosebumps.
day.
They're saying, yes, they were absolutely helping you. So the angels want to add, these are kind of dramatic things, right? We need money for this thing, and the money disappeared. My car, the brakes went out, and I'm afraid of crashing. But there is nothing too small and there is nothing too big for you to delegate to the angels. You know, angels get me to where I'm going in divine perfect timing. Thank you for getting me. So here's the thing. The angel delegation statement says, thank you, angels, for taking care of, or thank you, angels, for getting me there in divine perfect timing. Because usually when people ask for help, they come from this place of, I want it, I need it, I don't have it,
Mhm.
which is lack consciousness. And the angels want to remind us that they're always helping us, whether we're asking or not. They just can do a lot more when we actually ask because it is a free will planet that we're on. And when we say, thank you, angels, it helps us to remember that they're on it, they're taking care of it. So we can feel that relief. So when you're playing with the delegation statement, keep playing around with the words until you feel relief or your shoulders suddenly drop away from your ears or you just kind of breathe that sigh. You'll know, you'll feel lighter.
And that is a huge relief, isn't it? To just know they're with us and take some of the weight of, whatever our life challenges are. Ease some of that weight. That's huge.
It is. And they're so happy to help. They're here. So the angels that I work with are a little different from the angels you've probably heard of. They're not Archangel Michael or Archangel Raphael. They're actually a different set of angels who are here to help humanity rise up in consciousness to a level of consciousness that's based in divine unconditional love. So they're always, all angels, but these angels especially, are helping us rise up in consciousness. They're helping us feel lighter. They're helping us feel more connected to the divine. And they're helping us remember the divinity that is us. So they specifically want to help your life flourish. They want you to feel held, soothed, nurtured, guided. They're calling you toward everything that you don't even know you desire because they can see the big picture so much better than we can. So the more we start to let go of trying to control everything and trying to figure everything out, and believe me, I am a recovering intellectual. I am working on this one right alongside you, trying to let go of figuring out which way to go and how to get there, but rather just moment by moment, notice how I'm feeling. Am I feeling inner harmony or am I feeling turbulence? If I'm feeling turbulence, soothing myself or reaching out to somebody to help me find that harmony again and tuning into my guidance moment by moment. Is there something for me to say or do right now, angels? And our lives can really be that in the moment. We don't have to figure out the future. We don't have to do scenario planning and plan A and B and C and Z. We can give all of that to the angels, and they want to add, for those of you who are a little worried that they're going to guide you to do something that you would never want to do, they know you and love you so much. They would never, if your joy is playing the violin, they would never tell you to go become a bricklayer, right? They know who you are and what lights you up. They're going to guide you toward unfoldings that are just, they're going to feel like magic and miracles.
Isn't it a beautiful thing? I've always looked at it like this hand is wide open to what may manifest that I had never even dreamed of. Just say yes and trust. Yes.
Yes. And
Oh,
then take the step, right? So the angels do want to jump up and down and add. Again, they're very
uh-huh.
excitable today. That it's not, I mean, you can sit around. You literally can sit on your couch and the angels will bring your beloved to your front door if need be. But they also know that it's fun to get out in the world. It's fun to go online. It's fun to talk to other beings and take classes that interest you. And so they may guide you to take a bird watching class.
Mhm.
Maybe because you're going to meet somebody you love at the bird watching class, or you're going to find a beautiful trail that you didn't know was there that you're going to want to go on over and over again. It may not be about the bird watching, but we do, when we get the guidance, when we feel that inspiration, take the step and then just tune in. Like, okay, bird
Right.
watching isn't really for me, but these binoculars are amazing. I love being able to see into the distance. Maybe I'm more interested in stargazing. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
more interested in hiking. You'll,
Discovering
as you,
what we love to do. I love it
yes.
and
Yes, so
enjoying
they
the
they
doing
want
that.
to really give us permission also not to have to finish everything we start. If you signed up for 3 bird watching
Oh,
classes and you know after the first one it's not for you, it's okay to stop. Like there is no, we have a lot of programming that says winners never quit, quitters never win, right? You've got to follow through. And they want us to know that sometimes we get everything we needed from something in that one first session or that one first class or the first YouTube video we watch. And that's divinely perfect. It's not wrong in any way.
I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. And something you share in the book is the importance of loving yourself. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So, to live in a world that's based in divine unconditional love, which is the world that our heart of hearts knows is possible, right? A world where people are kind to one another and everybody is able to find work that they love to do, friends, intimate relationship, if that's what they're looking for. In order to live in that kind of world, we have to put ourselves first. We have to love ourselves unconditionally first. And they're not saying, again, to shame or blame yourself. They're saying be gentle with yourself. It's a journey because, again, we have a lot of programming that says self love is selfish. They want you to know that people told you that because they wanted you to do what they wanted you to do.
Yeah.
Actually, they were being selfish. So it's ironic, but when we don't put ourselves first, then we feel like we have to overgive, right? We have to take care of everybody else at the expense of ourselves, self-sacrifice, or we feel like we have to control everything out there in order to feel safe and comfortable and to relax just a tiny bit. when we do take care of ourselves first, the way we show up in the world is as our most powerful selves. So there's a reason that we're told not to do this because there are many entities out there
Yes.
who would like us to spend money with them or do what they tell us to do, right? They like the power, they like the money. But when we take care of ourselves first, when we're loving to the part of ourself that's scared or to the part of ourself that's angry, and we have a conversation with that emotion and treat that emotion as a messenger instead of trying to get rid of anxiety. Hi, anxiety, what would you like me to know? When we love the part of ourselves who feels anxious or scared or angry or frustrated, we find our way back to inner harmony. And when we're in inner harmony, then we can't be manipulated. We can't be shamed or guilted into doing things. We don't overgive. We are very clear of what's a yes and what's a no for us. And when we say no, thank you, we say it with a very different energy than when we're annoyed or,
Mm.
having some sort of reaction to what's going on in the world.
Yes. Oh, that's a powerful point. That is so true. Oh my gosh. So with it, give us a little example of kind of the coaching that they're going to expect when they read your book. Give us
Oh,
an example of one of those, please.
oh, sure. So, which one do the angels want to share? Take a moment to tune in. So, they want to share divine perfect timing. So, many of us have a tendency to get annoyed when somebody cuts us off when we're driving or
Mhm.
when we hit all red lights. For me, I learned this over and over again. Believe me, it took more than one time. But I was going to get my car washed one day. And if I got there before 10 o'clock, I got a discount. Such a mundane example. But first, I went out to my car and I didn't have my phone, so I went back in to get my phone. And then I realized I didn't have my keys, so I went back in to get my keys. And by the time I finally got myself to the car wash, it was after 10 and I wasn't getting my discount and I was very annoyed. And then I went over to the waiting area where everybody was sitting waiting for their car to be done. And everybody was talking about how the police had just left the property and there was some sort of big altercation. And if I had arrived a few minutes earlier, I might have been involved in it or a witness to it or certainly something uncomfortable. And so all of a sudden I was thanking the angels for hiding my keys. And I was like, oh, of course you were taking care of me. So in a do as I say, not as I do coaching example, the more we can relax into, oh, I'm being slowed down for a reason, or oh,
Yes,
I'm hitting all green lights for a reason, the easier life will feel.
yes.
Because we really have the power to change our experience of the journey by the story we tell ourselves. So the angels would love for us to tell a story that feels like, oh, it's all unfolding perfectly. It's all unfolding in divine perfect timing. The angels have got this.
The angels see that big picture. They so do. Oh my gosh. Oh, Sue, with a few minutes left in the show, please share your website with everyone and kind of a last message that you want to give everyone today.
Okay. Well, the website is myangelcoach.com. And we have a gift for you if you love this sort of material. It's called an audio called Soothing Energy from the Angels. It's about 8 minutes long, and you can get it at myangelcoach.com/soothing dash energy. And that's great if you need a tune up or if you're going on an interview or have a first date. It's a wonderful way to send to yourself or before you start your day. It's a wonderful thing to listen to before you get out of bed. And the
Nice.
angels want to say that one of the things they do in this book, so we mentioned that each chapter starts with a colorful angel attunement. The angels wanted to add that they do a lot of the work for you. So many self-help books are really just that, right? It's all about doing it yourself. And the angels want to let you know that they will dissolve a lot of what we call gunk for you. They're really good at it. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be triggering, even. If you allow the angels to dissolve the limiting beliefs that you have, the set point you might have around money or how much joy you could have if you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? All of those things that get in the way of us thoroughly enjoying life, feeling supported and guided. They would love the opportunity to dissolve that for you. And I have to say, you don't have to get the book to have this experience. They will do it for you. The book just makes it easy and fun and gives you some colorful and memorable examples that will remind you every time you see a butterfly or a stoplight or, one of the other pictures, a train. It'll remind you of the stories in the book.
I love it. And so would you say this really is kind of an automatic thing, them doing that for us? And then does that um, open up also an even bigger picture when we ask for, you know, guidance and protection, and also that we trust them, we love them, all that, does all that come into play?
Absolutely. So they adore you. They adore you exactly as you are right now. Their love is utterly unconditional. There is nothing that you did do or didn't do, did say or didn't say that would make them stop loving you, always.
Okay.
And they really want you to feel that. They really want you to feel supported and held. And loving them also feels really delicious. So you mentioned loving them back, right? So the more you can live in appreciation, and the angels love to suggest keeping a journal or a list of things like miracles, signs, how many times you saw 222 and 333 today, whatever it is that when you're having a moment of doubt or worry, you can refer back to the list and say, oh, yeah, the angels helped me with that, and they helped me with that, and they made sure my car didn't crash into a tree. We have the opportunity to remind ourselves that life can be easier and that life can be more peaceful and that the angels have got it. They really are taking care of so much for us. And that frees up a lot of energy and bandwidth to do the
Yeah.
things we enjoy.
Oh, Sue, thank you. What a beautiful message. What a beautiful message. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am so grateful.
Oh, thank you.
To everyone, love, hugs, and blessings. Thank you for joining us, Sue. Love, hugs, and blessings.
Much love.
Yes.